Everybody against the minimum wage increase always wants to say that if we increase wages, prices of goods and stuff will always go up. Okay, what about in places like Tennessee where the minimum wage is 7.25, yet still prices of everything in the state has gone up. None of it has stayed the same because the minimum wage stayed the same. Everything continues to increase.
After years of fighting for a higher wage floor in cities across the country, the new year is going to bring a new paycheck for millions of Americans, with about half of all states and the District of Columbia either raising the minimum wage on January 1st or at some point during the year. Hawaii's increase will be the largest, while Washington will have the highest minimum wage of any state at more than $16 an hour. But it's California.
Pretty nice, $16 an hour. And this isn't like uh states increasing the wages, the minimum wages because of the government. This is states doing it on its own. States that aren't increasing their wages, it's still 7.25.
California and fast food workers like Anisha Williams, who are seeing the most seismic changes after years of struggles.
I have to pick and choose between rent, groceries, and livelihood.
Now, the Golden State's minimum wage jumps to $16 at the beginning of the year, and for fast food workers, it rises to $20 in April. The mother of six.
Wow, 20 an hour is definitely a good starting point, though we needed 20 an hour years ago. Nowadays, people are going to need 25 to 30 an hour in order to survive in today's world.
Williams says that is definite progress.
We protested every which way to prove our point.
But businesses are reacting, especially in California, where several Pizza Hut franchise owners will reportedly lay off more than 1,000 drivers statewide and rely instead on companies like DoorDash.
They're doing this because they still want to keep record profits. You got so many businesses that are making record profits, bragging about record profits, and then they continue to lay off people instead of pay a higher wage so that the CEOs and stuff can continue to also get bonuses to line their pockets. I mean, you got CEOs giving themselves 20 billion or $20 million or $30 million or so in bonuses while saying they can't pay their workers a couple more bucks an hour.
Mom and pop shops like Frankie's Pizza in Old Town Sacramento. The owner tells us the wage hike will mean longer hours for him.
Are you saying you would hire more employees, but because of the rate hike, that is no longer an option?
I cannot do it. I can't. I mean, who's going to pay it? I mean, I wouldn't be able to afford to do it. I have to work longer hours to compensate for that.
This new reality.
Well, yeah, it sucks that some people will go out of business because they can't afford to pay employees enough, but employees shouldn't be subsidizing the small businesses or business owners just because they can't afford to pay. That's part of a business. If you can't pay your employees to work, well, you're not going to have a business.
For many businesses, coming as 20 states still rely on the decades-old federal minimum wage of $7.25 in place since.
That's a lot of states to have just 7.25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 with 7.25. And Tennessee and stuff don't have a minimum wage. I guess that they just have their own state minimum wage, which they just go along with the federal minimum wage. Because for Tennessee, it's 7.25. That is not enough money to make in order to survive.
Since 2009, while workers like Williams see new opportunities.
So many people doubting us, and sometimes I can't even believe it, and I'm so happy.
Sam Brock, NBC.
So many people try to claim that, having a minimum wage causes problems, and we should question if we should increase the wage, but nobody ever questions the increase in wages rich people always give themselves. They can always line their pockets with extra money, but they can never pay their